Hello guys, today is a special lecture day as we have a special guest all the way from White Mexico City. I know, it's crazy. As we know, it's in New Brazil. Mr. Sugalini Chevrolet. He will discuss very profound concepts. And I implore you all to listen. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Having children.
It just cuts off the highway for semen. I think you still come something. Sometimes it can be reversed. Depends on how it's done. I'm just thinking about it. It's literally two tubes they tie. It's awful. It's awful to think about. They do it, they literally do it when you're awake. They numb you. It's awful. I don't know why I know this, but it's awful to think about. Sister, dude, that would have been a perfect video for you to make.
We're talking about the sadness of marriage.
Yeah, your rant, dude. It's a rant. Can make a lecture from the thinking hall.
You didn't record it?
No, I wish I did. That's what I was thinking about the first time I zoned out. It was like, this would be beautiful.
I could do it again. I could do it again if you want to just record it. But
yeah,
I was in the moment.
I'll make a video. I'll make a lectures from the thinking hall. Here, let me do the intro.
I had to put myself in the moment, bro.
Well, let me do my intro.
I mean, dude, I got into that moment because I was looking at some Instagram video, and in the Instagram video was talking about it was just it's supposed to be comedic, it's supposed to be funny, and the dude goes up to his wife and he's like, "Why is my sex life like my steak? It's rare," and she says, "I like mine well done." And I guess it's supposed to be funny, but I kind of find it sad, because the honest truth is there are so many people that they are living in this situation, and that's what got me into the mood. Is bro, I honestly feel kind of sad for people who don't get laid in their own marriage for years on years, and it's do you not get hard or get horny from time to time? It's do you ask your wife, your husband to get down from time to time? Do you not try? And if they do, it's apparently the same answers. I'm tired. I didn't shower, or I'm not ready. I'm not in the mood. And it's them sitting on the couch eating Tostitos, watching a fucking TV show about Love Island. It really just brings down a whole negative view of, I don't know.
Marriage?
I want to say marriage.
Oh, a relationship is supposed to be, or ends up becoming.
What it ends up becoming, because it's I see marriage as more of a kind of a covenant between you and God, and then I wouldn't want to bring this state in. That's a whole debate. But the issue is the issue goes back to the video I was talking about, where there are thousands of people, men and women, who go into relationships and they get they're fucking, I wouldn't say consistently, but they're fucking each other, and just a lot more than they are when they are. But the question is why do they stop? Like, what stops a man or a woman from wanting to fuck their partner after getting married? What stops them? Now, I'm not saying like you should fuck every week, you should fuck every day or every weekend. I'm just saying like there is a huge study that's done where after marriage, the partners get little to no action. If they are lucky at all, I'm like, but at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, like, that, I'm saying it's like, what, isn't it kind of like a bond between you and the individual that at least from time to time, a man was in partner, like, I would probably want to have this desire fulfilled, not saying that the relationship is formed by lust, but from time to time it is this desire that needs to be fulfilled, and you would like to have that fulfilled with somebody that you love. So I'm thinking that the issue is more than, and perhaps it's easy to say I blame society for this or that, or why it is men or women. What if I was, let's just give an example.
Stress. Well, maybe there's like a stress factor. Just think about this. Think about how stressful the modern family life is. Because, alright, both parents gotta get a job. Unless the single father is working. Unless we have one man working and then stay-at-home mom. And then they both have their own separate issues. And if the mom starts lacking, if she's gotta watch this kid and his dad, I don't know. I think it's like a stress thing. Like the environment, an environmental factor.
Well,
What's the sex rate in polluted areas?
Versus non-polluted?
I mean,
or like polluted? Well, what if it's more than that? What if it's like if I was to give an example, I'm not gonna say this example is perfect, but this could be a few people.
oh my god, that is not what I wanted to see.
Like, what if it's like, oh shit, it's my only option. Oh, I can't find a good, beautiful woman, so I'm gonna marry this torta. She's fucking fat, so I marry this bitch, and I don't fuck her because she's like fat, and I don't fuck with fat bitches. So now it's like this. We end up having kids only for the moment, you know. Like, I really fuck to have kids, and I don't even want to fuck with the fat bitch. And it's like that situation where people are in marriages because they think it's like I wouldn't say they force themselves upon marriages, but it is the women they are with or men are the only option. This is the only option I have, so I'm gonna just deal with them. I'm gonna suck it up.
Like a torture?
Deal with the consequences. I'm not getting laid.
Hold on, I found 2 maps real quick. You can continue. I lied. Whoa.
What?
Whoa. You gotta look at this.
Let me see.
We're making groundbreaking discoveries in the lecture chamber tonight.
How often do people have sex each other per week or state? What is this, like?
Sex per week. So, Oklahoma, this is 2023. So, 0.7, 0.8, we're round up. New Mexico, 2. Now let's look at the pollution. Well,
there's only 3, 4, 5, 6, like a good 5 states, 6 states that are like dark.
Look at this pollution map. Now, Wait.
I don't know if the pollution has something to do with that. I think it's more of
It's a hot spot here. This is purple. Wait.
what about like pay?
So annoying.
Like compared to pay. Compared to the pay.
Ooh,
The living, the cost of living. Honestly, I guess I was expecting something else.
Yeah, me too. Hmm.
56, 59, 59, 5.
Shit. Whatever. I just spelled this retardedly.
Look up how often people have sex in marriages.
I won't look up education. Let me look up like the education. That's somehow worded.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Education. I don't know how to word it. I can't think. I took a dab. Education. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be like scaling it from 1 to 50. And
Oh, fucking no. I'm too retarded to do this. Reading. The reading. Oh, literate. I don't even know. Holy shit.
literacy.
Let's see, I can't see that. That's 2026, I'm on 2023. That's some mumbo jumbo. 2023. No. This has to correlate with something. There's something happening.
I believe like both. It has to be like a cost of living, education. What else? Like there's this argument I had before. Like, dude, smart people of higher intellect have more kids than those that are dumb.
Wait, what?
Like, there's smart people of higher intellect have more kids, breed more than those that are dumb.
No, it's the opposite. Well, it's the opposite for women. I'm not entirely too sure for men. I would assume it's lower for men because normally higher educated people just don't have kids, or as many kids if they do, or they have kids like later on compared to younger people, because younger people are more retarded and do more brass things, or I mean not little younger people, lower educated. Because like think about the hood, think about the ghetto.
Thank God for abortion centers.
Ooh.
What does that say? I can't read that.
This is state
Legal
abortion policies. So reds, anything not blue is basically banned. Well, yellow is iffy. So
wait, abortion is banned in Oklahoma?
yeah, you didn't know that?
Okay.
Our fucking governor is retarded. He fucking signed
Whoa.
every anti-abortion law. Every one from all the other states. So everyone applies on our state.
I mean, it has some correlation to the picture.
That's what I was thinking. Like New York, that's high.
Besides Arizona, Arizona is actually peak, and in Arizona it's illegal.
No, that's New Mexico. Next to Texas, they have high. Colorado is the only one.
No, I was talking about Arizona on the right. Oh,
here?
It's red. It's illegal. That's New Mexico, bro.
This is
That's Arizona. Oh fuck! I forgot Arizona's AZ and not AR. Holy shit.
See, AZ and then New Mexico, Arizona, Utah.
I'm retarded, bro.
Colorado, nothing. Nebraska.
There's lucky some correlation to it. Besides North Dakota and South Dakota.
Illinois.
And again.
Where's IN? I'm retarded.
Indonesia.
Indiana.
Indonesia.
Somalia.
Somalia.
Oh, Alaska?
Oh, I said Indonesia.
Look at that, look at Alaska. Hawaii.
Damn, bro. Damn, Hawaii.
Well, California's a shithole, so that makes sense. Oregon. Okay, there's also a correlation here. There's a little correlation. There's nobody in Washington, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you were able to come in the bitch and tell that bitch to go get an abortion, like you don't need to rely on Plan B. You don't need a condom. It's just a guaranteed safe net that costs $500.
Which state has the highest incest rate? A deep dive into inbreeding. I want to see the map.
Oklahoma looks red as shit.
Yeah. And then we look at this map now. What we see correlates here.
North Dakota, South Dakota.
In Utah. Oh my god. That's the Utah connection. That's the fucking Utah connection, Sergio. That's why, oh my god. Holy shit. That's why they have a high sex rate. In 2023, oh my god.
What about the education? How good is the education in Utah? There'll be other factors into it as well.
What the fuck?
These are mostly high island.
Look at the reds. This is outdated too. Utah's kind of high.
Oklahoma's not highly educated. The only good university we have in Oklahoma is fucking OU. OSU was basically funded by a part of a member that was in the team list. I'm forgetting the fucking dude's name. I think he might be the founder of OSU. A lot of lawyers, politicians, presidents come from Harvard. Because it's like rich people live their own life. They have their own clubs, societies, standards. They know each other. They walk, talk, act differently than the common folk.
I'm trying to see if more educated people commit more incest. Might have to ask ChatGPT this. Now on the thinking chamber and the lecture.
Einstein fucked his cousin, married her, and cheated on her.
Okay.
And he apparently had autism. He's a bit German.
There's something going on in Utah. There's something crazy going on in Utah. Don't condone. Actually, we condone the use of AI on the thinking call. Because we can have sex with it. Think about that. Ooh, that's I want to show that.
It's sad. It's sad. All this because of retard Instagram posts that got me feeling sad for a lot of people, mostly for the men. And it's like, I'm not saying sex is all that matters in a relationship, because that relationship would be founded by loss at that point. It's not what I think of that. It's just it's I wouldn't want to expect.
Think about this idea I've had. Think about this idea. Lustful love or loving lust?
Loving love? What do you mean?
Like it's not like lust. It's not like you're seeking just lustful emotions. It's more of it comes naturally from the love, or one that just loves lust. Think about that. It doesn't really correlate, but think about that. What if... Whoa! What if this guy fucked this dog? Holy shit. Think about that. Why do people fuck their dogs? Do you think someone who has less sex in their marriage would be more likely to fuck a dog?
No, I think they'd be most likely to hire an escort, bro. Excessively masturbate. I mean, I had to go back to this quote. Happy wife, a happy life. And it's so sad. It's a submissive man. It's a man submitting to his wife. It is such a sad marriage that the only way he can define his own happiness is by another. He puts his own happiness in the hands of another. But if that is so true, can he really be ever happy? If not, he cannot look within.
No.
Must you rely on another person to find happiness?
No, because
you are but a broke
this.
man.
If you gotta light yourself on fire to keep other people warm, dude, think about that. You're gonna burn, bro. You're gonna die. You can't, like, neglect yourself.
And that's why I say you must love yourself. But you can't do that if you're reliant on another person's action. So for me to say...
broad won't give you some head.
I mean, like, is it really romantic to say, my life is all yours. My life, my happiness is because of you. I'm happy because you are here in my life. Though, yes, I gotta say, it's romantic at first, but when people say happy wife, happy life, it's so fucking sad to hear that. It's disappointing. It's more than just a say. It's more than just a quote that brings down the marriage to the woman being the powerhouse. It's a man being so weak and so pathetic that he can't find happiness from within, only to be brought by someone else. Truly a not happy individual. And sure, there could be people like, you never been in love about you don't know what love is about.
I think you think that quote comes from, like, the fucked up marriages where, like, people are like, just do whatever they want, do whatever their wife says make them happy, so they get off their case. I don't think too many people. I don't know. I mean, there are. I don't know.
Yeah, but I thought it'd be more like it's cheaper to keep her. You know, like if you were to let go
Well,
of the
is
woman and
is
get a
it cheaper to
divorce,
keep her?
it is cheaper to keep her. Yes, indeed, it is cheaper to
What if you're
keep her.
prenup?
Prenup can be waived in court by many reasons, like sign under duress, like if she's distressed.
No, what if it's like a good one?
Wise.
What if it's good? What if I got my good lawyer? What if I got my boy?
Okay, perhaps, but still,
What if I
the
have her
woman-
sign the NDA? Think about those celebrities, the basketball players who are fucking these women, and they get them to sign these
those
NDAs.
women are in for business, and that's what I'm saying. Like those women don't give a single fuck about the man that they're married to. They just want the money, get a kid, and bounce.
Like Kim
And
Kardashian?
alimony. Yeah, like the Kim Kardashian dude. And that's a current state. Like, it's what a good amount of women think of what marriage is some financial piggyback. Like, I'm not saying all marriage are where women are just in from business. They don't really think of love. I'm simply saying that men and women love each other differently, and it's easier for a woman to think of love differently than a man.
It's true, because women are evil.
Yeah, but women and men are evil in their own, like men. We evil in a sense of like power. Because men are the one with power. Women don't have any position of power unless it's like given to them, like voting rights. Other than that, the only way they can be in a position of power is emotional turmoil, or
Body.
with like,
emotional turmoil.
I have kids, you better give me alimony and power. Whereas men, we can easily kill a woman. Like, there's no arguing that we can't kill a woman with one arm. There's no arguing about that. If we really want to, we could get rid of women's rights easily, and there wouldn't be a single thought, there wouldn't be anybody to stop us other than men. If you think
That's okay.
100,000 men walk in the streets, that's a minor problem.
What
you
if
know?
women have guns?
Women having guns?
Think about
That
1,000 women with AR-15s versus 1,000 men with AR-15s.
I don't want to be that one guy, but shot a gun. Like, there is a skill to it, but I might not shot many guns, but I think it's so easier to pull the trigger than it is to stab someone with a knife. In a sense, like, if I had a knife and someone in front of me has a knife, you have to have balls to walk in front of them and fight them with said knife. Whereas with a gun, you can pull the trigger and not have conflictions with like, oh, I don't want to risk myself getting hurt, injured, getting my arm cut off. Like, you have to have more balls to go up someone hand-to-hand combat with a knife, with a sword, with sticks and stones than with a gun, because you don't think about it. You don't think about the actions or what could possibly happen to you while in the fight.
You ever seen the Kyle Rittenhouse video?
No.
From years ago, you've never seen that?
No.
Dude. What you're saying happened. This guy, it's literally crazy how this, like, multiple people come up to him and, like, they hit him, like, he falls and he pulls up his gun, his AR-15, he blasts them. And, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Think about this. 1,000.
I respect defense.
What?
That's a defense, you know. But I'm saying when it comes to,
You going up to someone with a gun?
There's a difference between going up to someone with a gun and then going up to someone with a knife, you know. And though one, you can just pull the trigger and forget it. But
I
like
don't
the other,
know.
you gotta think about doing it, convince yourself into doing it,
The knife
and then
attack,
do it.
the swing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Think about this. Think about a guy with like a machete or like a big knife. Someone who wants to hurt someone with a knife. This guy like a big knife. Like you can just like swing that shit. Like if that shit's sharp, it's gonna like. Cause those like gladiuses and shit, they used to like cut your guts out like a swing. Like a sword, like a fucking Bowie knife. You could fucking. I don't know, man. I'm swinging on my arm right now. That's pretty easy. Like if someone's swinging a knife at me, like you can track it with your eyes. You can kind of dodge it, and like. Think about this. If you're in a 1v1 with someone with a machete, you gotta use an arm to block. You gotta tank a shot. You gotta tank a shot with your arm. But a gun, it's cooked. You're over. There ain't shit you can do unless you got cover or a shield or something. And even then,
Yeah.
and then you're like a gun. You have to get up. I don't know. Maybe you try to disarm the dude, but then you're taking a big gamble. I don't know.
I'm thinking to myself, like, where these people that go out of the way, like, any sort of era where people fight with swords, and then, like, imagine them coming to our modern day with a gun. The reason why I'd say it's, like, you gotta have balls to go up to someone that with a sword or shield, and then go into a one-on-one.
That's why it was more honorable.
Yeah, but like doing that with guns, guns nowadays is like, I wouldn't say there's no honor in it, but it's like
different. It's not
you don't really think about risk. You don't convince yourself into fighting. You don't convince yourself into pulling the trigger. You just pull the trigger. You gotta convince yourself to stand up, grab your shield, and fight someone who could potentially be a better fighter than you, who will potentially slit your fucking throat, execute you, pull a maneuver like some Mortal Kombat fucking fatality, and endure that as your last final fucking breath. But with the gun, you just die. You don't come to a sense. Like most guns, you don't even know what fucking kills you. You just fucking die.
Well,
to some people, that's like a mercy. Yeah, to some people, that's a fucking mercy. Like, I wouldn't want to know what killed me.
Yeah, like World War I, dude. Imagine being in the trench and then... Imagine being the first Germans to find out the British made fucking proxy rounds, proxy mortars. I mean, airburst mortars. Imagine chilling. You're like, this is like the normal strat, just chilling in the bunker, and then suddenly, boom! Above in the sky, you see your homies get just turned to mincemeat.
What about the V1 bombers? You just hear it from a distance?
Those are V1 rockets?
Yeah, the V1 rockets.
What's funny? More slaves died building those than those things actually killed people in London. And the Nazi scientist who led the V1 program went to work for NASA. Fun fact. There's a story about a British plane fucking smacking one with its wing. Smacking a V1 with its wing. Yeah, it fucking knocked it off course. It flew into the water. Because those things were just fucking retarded. They just went straight.
It was just a fucking rocket attached to a fucking missile. The thing had no targeting systems.
Yeah, it just went raw. Went raw in, dude. I mean, it's crazy for the time. That's so crazy. Imagine, like, World War I. Yeah, dude, the samurais had guns. There's times like the samurais where they pulled up on people with like swords and they just gunned them down. That was it.
Japan was like late. They were so late on technological advancements.
Yeah, because they didn't have no metal. Japan's crazy.
They had the machine. What is it? Like the printers. It acted like a printing machine, a fax machine or something like that. And they had one all the way until JFK. So there's the possibility of when they heard of JFK's death, they got it from like that fax machine or some shit that prints out like a
JFK, dude?
I'm trying to remember what that machine is
Dude,
called.
I
Like
know what you're talking about, but it's Abraham Lincoln, dude.
It was all the way to Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, dude. That's when the Japanese were the samurai were around Abraham Lincoln time. That's when I forget when we forced them to open their ports. At some point we forced Japan to open up their ports. That's kind of crazy how we forced a country to trade. And then we did it to China. That's kind of wild.
I mean,
Pulling up to some dude, some random island. Dude, it's Japan, some random fuck ass island that has its own fucking random bullshit going on. I don't even know why. There's natives to Japan. Those Japanese people are not the natives. That's why tattoos are
dude,
banned.
the Mongolians almost killed everyone. But the reason why they didn't is because the weather.
They
The
did.
cyclones fucked them up.
They did. They got to Afghanistan, and that shit got fucked. Got all riddled with disease and plague. And the dynasty just dipped out. This is like the collapse. It was crazy. This is kind of abandoned.
I mean, it's not like they've been across the world. They've been staying on a fucking island for majority of their lives until people came towards them. People came to Japan trying to ask for.
The Chinese showed up at one time and storms blew them away. And then the Americans showed up. Yeah. America was like, fuck you, dude. Give me your bamboo or something. Give me your Japanese woman. Give me some workers to come over and build a railroad for me.
Come migrate to America.
Yes, come migrate to America. I need a new slave. I mean a worker I can underpay.
Any chance that American corporations can export immigrants and pay them less than paying Americans full wage? They'll take the opportunity.
I think Italians and Irish people need to go back as a minority. Because it's really just a way the Irish and the Italians, they need to go back to minority status. Alright? It's a whole Jewish psyop. Alright? The whole Shabbat Shalom thing. Alright, it's the slow inclusion to add Jews back into the tolerable category. Think about that. Now, what do Jews and Italians have in common? Long nose. What do Irish and Jews have in common? You don't know what they're saying. Think about that. Think about that.
The Jews have been slaughtered thousands of times throughout history for their ways. And you really think they'll stop doing what they do? They slaughter babies, massacre millions. They worship idol gods and practice their rituals that then slaughter more babies. Like Moloch, for example, a bronze a bronze statue so tall they have a bonfire lighting up the entire statue to the point it becomes like bright golden all the way down almost to its fucking specific heat. And they have the babies put in the hands of the Moloch statue while they're having sex all around the statue, doing all sorts of shit. Bro, it's crazy. And sometimes they don't even want to sacrifice their firstborn, so they just sacrifice animals. So you see a lot of animal bones around like these temples or whatever they call it. And it's just filled with countless of bones. A handful of times they do it because they are trying to please some god to give them good crops for the fucking winter, because back then
the wife
so
won't have sex
primitive.
with him. That's why. That's why it happens now today, Sergio. It's because they don't do worship to Moloch. Think about that.
There's countless of others. Ishtar, Baal, Moloch, Enki, Enlil. I'm forgetting the others. Ancient Mesopotamian gods. It's all over the Bible.
Dude, what the fuck? How do we even get here?
Talking about how sad it is for marriage. I went on a rant because I saw an Instagram post being have like this comedic vibe of like how marriages, they lack the sex life between them.
How you fix it?
I think the solution is fixing. It's a very big problem. It's a very big problem that comes from many factors, and one of those factors is most common, that can be commonly found, is degenerosity, like Love Island, sex culture, the filth that is being spread upon society, that is trying to be normalized within society. And then another thing is, another factor would be the lack of faith. Lack of faith. With that would also be what is love in a sense. So what I mean by that is, a lot of women go into marriage, but they only see it as a form of business. They go into these relationships with these athletes, these football players, basketball players, only with the intent of getting knocked up and catching an alimony after the divorce. That's not faith, that's business. There's no love in that. And a solution to that would be to first begin by considering what even started the process of what possibly led someone down to that road. Trauma, or the most addictive thing is trauma. You see, when you look at abusive relationships, they whether it's a man hitting a woman, most commonly it's a man hitting a woman, that dude always have someone to hit. Women always, the very same person that's been in an abusive relationship would tend to go back into another abusive relationship. So it becomes like this addictive behavior.
It is. I've been working, I have notes, I've been working on a video about these ideas.
So what if it's What if it's not just like being in? What if it's not just in a particular field?
It's just like a pain. It's like a familiar pain. It's an outcome that they know, and in a way, it kind of is pleasurable in a sense. And in a way, some people seek out these negative relationships, these toxic relationships. Is this because it's like trying to something with past trauma?
And you see, it turns out there may have been another argument that says that the trauma, depending on trauma in your younger life, would also determine your fetishes. Not always the case, but sometimes it's true.
It's definitely true for like a good majority of things. That's just a truth nuke. But how good of a coping strategy is that? Is it negative to an extent?
Fetishes?
One who seeks out trauma resolvement through, I guess it'd just be lustful things. It end up being categorized into lustful ideals. Because ultimately it's they're doing a sexual act, sexual fulfillment.
I had this thought.
Sex addicts, they become the sex addicts. So it's like a pattern, it's a repeating, it's a chain, it's like a domino effect of these people getting like trauma. So they have like sexual fetishes and they're like, fuck. Maybe they get a taste of it one time, they're like, fuck, I need that. And so they seek it out
like a drug.
and like, yeah, lustful intentions. So they started seeking out fucking random whores and shit, or getting in bad relationships. Through the idea of emotional self-sabotage, I suppose.
And because they're so unaware of what they're doing, they get molded by the very actions they take.
Well,
and it's harder for them to stay away from the things that hate them.
Sigmund Freud had the idea that some people have a unconscious desire towards self-destruction to like kind of like result in like emotional death, to be like blissful, to get to like some sort of blissful state at some point. I don't know. I gotta read more about it. I need to read more about the notice.
I truly do think that marriage has been constructed purposely to what it is today, and for men to fall into that trap because they seek a fulfillment because they are in love. It's easy to say you are in love and you're willing to do stupid shit for love, but at what length? How far can you really go for love? And at what point does love stop being love, but instead becomes an issue of one's own happiness?
As people get older, think about that. People like this change, normally change. I think that's why I've heard of older people that's just like what ends up happening. in their relationship.
Yeah.
It's kind of changed, but they have like a kid, so like, let's just stay together for the kid.
Yeah, that's kind of forced though. I've seen plenty of videos where these elderly people talk about how the married ones would say, some of the married ones would be like, "Oh, I wish I never had been married," and while some of them would be like, "Oh, I'm grateful that I've been married," and all the non-married ones would be like, "Oh, I wish I was married. I wish I had kids." You get a mixed reviews of everyone that's both single or not single. But I only think it's necessarily. I don't think we should we should take the data off of those who are not single. Only when it comes to something like, what does it mean? How does it feel to be lonely? Or how does it feel to be isolated, willingly isolated?
Willingly is different than rejection. I suppose it's how the willingly it comes. If they willingly decide to give up, perhaps. Could be negative, I don't know. Depends on the intention. Like if you're like a monk, a religious monk, it's chill.
So it brings me to this thought, like, where we say you hear this quite a lot as a standard, that somebody would prefer somebody that does not have much experience in their sex life, whether they would like them to be a virgin, right? And it brings me to this thought where it's hard for someone who is a sex addict to reattach themselves and back into a position of falling in love, where it's easy to fall in love with someone your first time because you're not someone that's experienced enough. You don't have enough experience with so many people who say the same things, with the same faces, same excuses, but different voices, and the very same car that you're driving. And it's very hard to have a connection with some people with that same experience. So to you, it's just like a different day, a different one. You heard it all. You heard all the excuses. You heard the stories. You heard the same thing over and over again. And it really deprives you of the enjoyment of what it means to fall in love, because instead of having, I guess you could say, expectations, you more have an expectation of absolutely not. You don't like expect anything of it.
Losing expectations.
Because it's just another one. Yeah, you lose your expectations.
So well, I mean, it's like anything, the more you consume, the more you need it, and eventually it's like almost like becomes numb to an extent. Like, think of like drug addicts. They have to keep like doing more and more, because that's kind of like people fucking random people, so they're fulfilling some internal desire, because it's a big dopamine dump. So I'm thinking of it like addiction. But what type of addiction? An addiction of the ego? Is that why people want to fuck so many people? Think about like Bonnie Blue.
Could Bonnie Blue really fall in love?
Could Bonnie Blue fall in love?
With the amount of people
Maybe.
she's been with, could she really fall in love?
I think someone could fall in love with her. But I don't know if she's capable of love.
And why? Why? What makes you say that? And am I reasonable because the experience she has with her sex life?
Yeah, she kind of
Right.
looks like a gremlin. Like, she gives off gremlin vibes.
It gives off some demon vibes.
Yeah, she's like possessed by Ball.
And she's possessed by the lust demon. I'm forgetting what his name is. Asmodeus.
Holy shit, maybe Bonnie Blue is an Asmodeus worshipper. Whoa.
There are actually like I believe that there are and like there are some witches, I guess you could say. If you can believe, for example, you look at the cube and where is it, like the Middle East? I don't really remember where that cube is at. The Muslims worship the black cube.
Mecca?
The Mecca. And so like when they pray onto the cube, the Mecca,
No, that's just
they're
the
essentially,
I don't know what the cube's called.
when they prayed towards it, they're giving this energy. They're giving their energy, their essence, not like their entire essence, but they're putting energy into that cube. So that cube is like gathering energy. It's forming energy by thoughts, by belief, by faith.
It's
And
like Jeffrey Epstein had the carpet.
and why it's like when you perform rituals, you need to have something that creates some form of energy, because energy cannot be created from nothing. It has to come from something. And so a good way is to like grab something that others believe onto, and if they believe onto something like this cube in Mecca, it gathers all the energy that from all the billions and millions of people that are putting it onto it. And so with that same idea, there are people who understand, just like me, that there is more to death. There is more to life. So when I die, I'm not going to go to it's not a black screen. I'm not going to look at the logos,
Whoa. Whoa. Where'd you go?
essentially harness.
Whoa, I'm lagging.
There are others more specialized
Sergio?
than most. Yeah?
I just like disconnected for a second.
Yeah, me too.
What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? Yeah, dude, that's what Jeffrey Epstein is a sex cult. Think about that. Yeah, the bug from the Cabal. Cabal. Yeah, he had like also other artifacts too, other religious stuff that people prayed to.
Yeah, because you're essentially gathering energy from that. And it's the same way. It's the same thing from sex, because there are a good amount of women who, like, there are demons. I'm forgetting the demons' names. Like a succubus, for example. The idea of succubus that comes to your dream and drain you of your energy by taking your semen, because it is actually how men deprive themselves of energy. It's by being lustful, by giving away their energy, by jerking off or fucking another woman and handing over a piece of themselves, their energy, which comes from that semen. right? And there's like this form of demon that you could call them witches, where women are specialized in this field. They take energy away from men through sexual intercourse, and some of them are different than others. Like, for example, one of them would target married men because they take the energy from guilt. They take the energy from their married life, knowing that the man can't tell the wife because they'll go through this divorce. They separate themselves from God. They basically interfered with God's plan, I guess you can say, while also manifesting the dude's energy through guilt, taking his energy away. Or you can just simply have sex with them and you just take their energy, but that's not as fulfilling as to some of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, dude. Makes perfect sense, Professor. Or special guest. Special guest. Epstein victim. Funny enough, you're the 67th person mentioned in the files, and they didn't blur your name. How do you go from victim to victimizer?
Yeah, a lot of people want to be victims these days.
Okay, so you're hoping for like a redemption arc. People start feeling
Hey,
sorry
man.
for you.
All I can say is they can't arrest me because I'm in the vows. If they arrest me, they gotta go after everybody.
Well, they can't. Let's hope not. I want to keep my job.
Man,
Jeffrey Epstein actually was a big donator to the Thinking College. That's what a lot of people don't know. Billions. He had his own special room too.
I gotta go back to where I started, bro. The marriage issue, the lack of sex in marriage.
Did Epstein lack that?
No, bro did not like sex. Bro had it all. As a married man myself,
Yeah,
I need it.
You'd say Jeffrey Epstein had it all. Define. Had it all. What does having it all mean?
I got fucking one tap.
What? That's not what that means.
Oh, man.
How fulfilled was Jeffrey Epstein?
I don't think there is a point. There's I mean, how fulfilled can you really be?
Compare him to your dad.
You're
Compare him to your
endlessly
dad. Compare Jeffrey Epstein to your parents on fulfillment.
like. Here's what I would say. When you are, I don't really think there is exactly a stop to when somebody's fulfilled in any sort of arrangement, whether that be food, power, money, sex. I think it's endless. It's this pit that starts off as a foot long, a feet high, only to exceedingly go under. You keep going deeper and deeper, and you're trying to fill that hole with these desires that can't fill it up. And to ask me, how can someone be fulfilled with these same desires? I think you're just going to be bounded by the same sins that you are committed.
Okay.
So for someone in a position like Epstein, I don't think he'll ever stop craving the very things that he does. Because he enjoys it. You can't stop doing something that you love.
You don't think he could like stop? Yeah, Palm Beach,
No.
start a new persona, a new life. Maybe write a book.
Alive.
Write a crazy science fiction novel about everything he didn't do. And about the black people. I mean, the the people he didn't blackmail. Black people. Listen, like Omni-Man. He wrote books about the real lore. That could be Palm Beach Pete. In 1954, they killed KFJ. The definitely not Israel. Aliens. That could be it. Be subliminal
The fuck are we-
programming.
The fuck am I doing, bro?
Subliminal programming. That's why they got all these memes on Instagram about Diddy, Epstein, about the boys being Epstein, about Jeffrey doing funny things. You know, I didn't think about it when 9/11 happened. And all the 9/11
Okay.
memes.
Okay, look, hear me out.
Think about this. 9/11 memes. Back in high school, think about that. That was like when dark humor was like beginning, I suppose, for that generation. It started with 9/11. And it kind of just snowballed, where tragic events became funny. Now I think it's a psyop.
Okay. Hear me out on this. A lot of people hate Epstein, but the very same people that hate him probably want to be him. Now hear me out. There's this common, being asked this question in high school, middle school. What will you do for $1 million? Hell, you know how many people would take dick up the ass, both men and women? You know how many people would suck dick, kill their grandmas, kill their fucking moms, just to obtain $1 million? Half of the American people would be so glad to trample over the other half, even if it means to gain power. They would do the very things that we consider sin, just to even obtain such an ounce of their own desires. And when I say that the very same people that hate Epstein probably want to be Epstein, I mean that figuratively, in some sense that they too would do the same crimes that he committed to achieve what it is they are trying to achieve: power, wealth, sex, money. They will go out of the way to do the very same things onto the other half of the American population. They want to talk about morality, but they were never given an opportunity to test their morality. They speak of righteousness as if they are righteous. They speak outwardly, act as if they aren't snakes themselves, but they snitch on their co-workers. They snitch on their parents and families, and they hold grudges longer than any man. They talk about how life is equal, yet when they look at a fly, a bug, an insect on the floor, they so eagerly, no thought behind it, kill the insect. See it as a lesser being. They don't think to themselves how the insects, the environment around them is equal to them. But because their intellect is higher than their own means that they are superior, proving that even their own logic is flawed. So yes, I do think half of the American population will commit the same crimes as Jeffrey Epstein, maybe not all of it, to obtain such little things they want.
Not all of it.
And I mean, like, child rape, sacrifice. I mean, that's. Would I do anything? Would I do any of those things? To be honest, probably. I'd probably go to extortion, tax fraud, illicit drug trafficking, going across the speed limit.
Like the CIA. Do some spy stuff.
Which, do you get my point? What I'm trying to make?
Yeah, dude. People are gonna do anything for power. These people are naturally evil and selfish. And they just need the position. They just need the leverage in their lives. And most people would abuse it. Because to me, nobody knows what good. There's no true ideal of good. I think Nietzsche's right that God is dead. We killed him. And there's no center morality. There's no glue.
Well,
And the church killed God too. With the politicization. Like in the political. Bitches twerking in that Overwatch cosplay. That was crazy. Something like that.
Mongolia is
I don't really think there will ever be such a utopia in humankind, ever will be in human history. But when it comes to I don't ever think we were as humans will ever reach is utopia amongst ourselves because of the differences. But when it comes to morality, what's right and wrong.
About the internet. Think about internet culture. I disagree. I would say that we are heading more towards a more. Think about how much American influence has reached the world. America culture is basically has parts of it have become. There's modern cultures, pop culture. Modern and pop culture aren't just. It's Western, and then Japanese things are like anime. There's some Japanese shit, and there's fucking cyberpunk is made by Polish people. I would say that ideas are becoming more.
It helps ideas flow.
There's more a universal. I don't know. There's more. It's easier for all these different ideas to communicate, and in a way, it's creating a common thought. Because all this information is just out there for anyone to see. Even in China, if they really want to, they can get VPNs and shit to see whatever their government doesn't want them to see. And same for America. You can get a VPN and give it to Use like Russian search engines. You see different stuff. But or like the dark web, that allows people from all over the world to talk and do shit there too. Like the Silk Road, the drug market, that shit is worldwide. Worldwide drug market. And the fucking internet. And then there's like extremists. I don't know. It does allow for echo chambers, because you can make like, because there's secluded areas. And the echo chambers are bad. It's echo chamber. Echo chambers happen anywhere. Echo chambers happen without the internet. But hearing a Japanese man talk about something is harder without the internet. If the bro's in Japan or something. I don't even know, I'm just saying. It all makes sense. So it's all good, it all makes sense. Think about it, everything makes sense, every word makes sense. You could speak absolute gibberish and it would make sense. Because think about language. What even is language?
Is the attempt to communicate with someone else.
Is language a theory?
We can make our own language. And we have on occasion, we call that code. C++.
Different. Well,
Yeah, but isn't that the same? It's still language. If you can call it inputs. But in reality, I see that as language. It's just a way to talk to microscopic wires.
okay, I see what you're saying. You're talking to the computer.
Yeah. And you're telling the computer what to do.
Okay.
And you're not only talking to it with just inputs, but you're also talking to it with math. Because when it comes to code, you gotta know a bit of math, so you could be able to utilize that and put it in a code that the computer understands. Because you can't. There's reasons why in school they have you learn Taylor series, and it's only operational dependent on certain functions. You can't use Taylor series on everything. That's why you have to go into Laplace transforms. Is because, or linear transformation, the ability to help the computer communicate mathematically in circumstances that need those with those math inputs.
Okay. What about like a human? Whoa, let's just say for a human verbal language, bro. Verbal. Wait, what was I even saying? I don't know. Language of
What is
theory?
language?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, we solved what is language. You solved it. You solved the question.
How a sign language is a language, and it's just your hand movements.
A dolphin, dude. Think about dolphins.
Sounds. They communicate by sound. It's illegal to communicate with them for a reason. Now you gotta ask yourself, why is it illegal to communicate with fucking sea
Because they're
creatures?
smart. Because dolphins are smart. The Navy trains them. The Navy has military dolphins. So that means that they are very trainable and they can do crazy stuff. if they have
I'd say it's information.
guarding military bases. But they're like crazy good at sonar. Yeah, they get all they just know.
No, think about all the history you can extract from a sea creature. A fucking dolphin. It could tell you what Atlantis once was. It could give you history
old-
what was,
how
if they
old-
could understand.
How old do you think dolphins are?
Not that. I mean, I think they're really old.
What do you mean really old?
I'm not saying that dolphins live long. I'm saying, like, I think
Are you
they've been
saying they
around for quite a long time.
pass around knowledge?
I think that dolphins are smart enough to store knowledge and share it as if it were stories, like how we tell our kids about Santa Claus.
I don't think they can do that. I don't think they're capable of like culture. Which is like some animals have like, well, they might, I don't know. I don't know enough about dolphins. I know some animals do have like weird cultural things, like there's fucking monkeys out. I've seen some recent paper, not paper, some fucking news article or something about monkeys. They thought that they were doing like some sort of like religious thing around this tree, because they would come and put like rocks up on it, and they would come and like pray, it seemed like, and give offerings. I guess raccoons do the same thing. They build like shrines. Let me see. Monkey.
Yeah, but where does culture come from? Intelligence? Habits?
Let's say it's habits.
Traditions?
That's just habits, I would say. Like how does anything really start? It's kind of, one group does it, and it just kind of catches on. I suppose it has to be beneficial to some degree.
Burying the dead? How did that start? The idea of
right now,
once you
animals, these elephants bury the dead. Elephants have like graveyards. They grief. Some animals grief. They get sad and depressed. Let's see. Oh my god, I found it. Mysterious chimpanzee behavior.
I think I found my new. You know, back at school, I was always, I believe I mentioned this to you, does morality come with intelligence? I'd always argue that with a bunch of students, but now, I think what I'm going to argue about is does it say, a happy wife, happy life, mean anything negative, positive? And what is the issue that comes from this? Is it cheaper to keep her?
Cheaper to keep her.
Yeah, that's where all this comes from, bro. It's like we went down this whole road because the idea of happy wife, happy life is so distasteful to me. I do not want to be in the position in my life where I'm stuck having to find, like, what I'm trying to be happy in my own life, running away from my wife to go fishing. She's so fucking annoying. Always bitching, always complaining about some shit. But at the same time, it's
9,000 hours of observation. I'm trying to see if monkeys do religion.
I think I think I'm gonna piss off a lot of women at school though.
Yeah. I think you are.
Because, I mean, why would I not? If I'm gonna be pissing off a lot of women. Tyler.
Welcome to
Tyler,
class. Welcome to class, dude.
Answer this question, Tyler. Answer this question.
What's the question?
What do you agree with this? Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
You said yeah?
Yeah, I agree with it.
Okay, why do you that? What makes you say that?
It's true, bro.
Because it's true?
Yo.
Elaborate.
Okay. Elaborate.
What
You
makes
gotta
that
have
true?
life, bro.
To what extent?
Every extent.
So you're saying this. Are you? It sounds like what you're saying is, your happiness comes from another person's happiness.
When it gets that deep, yeah.
That's the idea.
When it gets that deep.
If someone says happy wife, happy life,
Like when you're married and
Isn't
shit.
yeah, but like,
Yeah.
doesn't that sound like that person's own happiness comes from another person's? So in
It is.
some way, is that sad? Is that sad?
No.
Okay. Here's why I'm asking the question. You're gonna get my thought about this. I think the idea of simply saying, not just simply saying, but agreeing with it and living your life around this, the quote, happy wife, happy life, only goes to show the individual's the individual is submitting to the wife. The individual is submissive to the wife, the husband in particular. The wife is the powerhouse of the relationship. She holds the power. She holds the pants. And it's like, at what point, if a man is really a man, he really ask his wife to go hang out with the boys, to go out and hang out, play games with them? And what can a man do so free that he doesn't have to ask for permission, like a dog, chained? And if it's because of financial reasons, then it truly is cheaper to keep her. But that's not the reason why I say this. I find it distasteful. I find it in a position where men are unwilling to look past themselves in the sense of being reliant on another, to stop being reliant on someone else to be happy. For is it really happiness if it comes from another person? Are you not happy with yourself if you weren't in a relationship? Can't you be happy with yourself?
Fair enough.
So I think marriages that are in that position lack a lot of things, like sex. If someone says that, I imagine this guy doesn't get laid too often. He's probably okay with it. But at the same time, he's submissive to his wife. His wife holds the power. His wife is making the financial decisions. His wife kicks him out of the house when he loses the argument. His wife puts him on the couch. His wife is everything. Everything to the man and nothing to the man. The man can't live a day without that woman. And that's kind of sad.
Maybe this is why there's a growing number of stay-at-home fathers.
I guess when you love someone deeply enough, it's worth it.
Yeah, I guess. Like, I had another. I was talking to Trenton about like the difference between men and women and how we love each other is vastly different, uniquely different.
True.
Tyler, it's been a minute, bro. How you been?
Just been living life, working.
I'm surprised you're fucking awake.
Yeah, I have to be at work. Literally have to be clocked in in an hour.
Dude, what the
How'd
fuck?
you doing?
Yeah, I can't sleep. I should probably try and go back to try and sleep though. At least get like 30 minutes.
Okay, bro. If you're gonna go to sleep, if you're gonna sleep and you're gonna leave, ask yourself, who's truly happy? A man that's been single and without a relationship his whole life, or a man that's dependent on being in a relationship?
Yeah.
That might help you, bro. That might help you. Love yourself, bro. You gotta love yourself, dude.
Yeah.
Love yourself, dude. I'm telling you, man. You gotta love
I'm
yourself.
working on it.
Working on it. You gotta start somewhere, man.
Not with
You know, I
masturbation.
gamed.
If you gotta
I'm not
masturbate,
going to
bro,
do
it's okay.
Not too much. It's a sin.
Oh, I haven't.
Yeah,
Oh,
not too much. Yeah, semen retention.
yep, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Every
Be
time,
careful about it, bro. It's a battle.
Every time you jerk off, when you die, God's actually gonna replay the moments with you.
So it's
And, it's a powerful thing,
when I was a
dude.
teenager.
Dude,
You're gonna be faced with a lot of trials, my guy. The 12 deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins, I mean.
What?
You're gonna have all the 12 kings of hell going against you, dude. You got Asmodeus, lust. You got pride. You got sloth. You got envy. You gotta start from the bottom, and the bottom is lust. Then you move on up.
Yep.
It's really hard, bro.
That's that.
Really hard. You're not the only one struggling.
Let's park. For sure.
Sergio's fucked 5 hookers this week.
And now I fucked 7, dude. You won't believe it, Tyler. You
6
won't
or
believe
7.
it.
So,
Yeah, Trenton knows. I told Trenton the story.
Yeah, he's asking me for a fucking loan. He's trying to hit 8.
Oh no.
Dude, I almost got one this week, but she was too expensive. $500. She clean now.
Are the others
Oh,
not?
I'm
Everyone
going
was
to
clean.
for 30 minutes.
Peace out, Tyler Chavez.
Peace out, Tyler.
I'll join tomorrow night though. Chat it
Mashallah.
up.
Mashallah, white boy.
Hey, I could play
Mashallah.
Roblox on my phone if y'all niggas gonna be playing that shit.
What?
Since I don't have my PC,
Why? Where's
Tomorrow.
your PC, dude?
it's at my grandparents, bro. I haven't been there in like a month.
Why?
Just since all this shit went down.
Just go through the game. Really go through the game and go home.
Make an
Gaming
appointment,
break, bro.
dog.
No more gaming, no more smoking.
It's okay, bro. You need to get on that grind.
For real, gotta lock in, bro.
We'll tell Hannah you say hi.
Fuck
Gamer
that,
girl
bro.
Hannah.
Gamer girl Hannah. Yeah.
Alright, I'll catch y'all niggers later.
Peace out, Tyler. Mashallah.
Who's this nigger? Don't let the chick bugs bite.
Good Jew.
Yeah, I'm surprised he joined. Yeah, I tried to give him some good advice to love himself. I don't think he'll take that shit seriously. You know, I think Tyler coincidentally fit in that criteria of what I was talking about. Happy wife, happy life. He agreed with it. Said it was true.
Yeah, dude, he's the victim maybe you're talking about. Maybe.
That. Dude, that would be so fucking crazy. Is that a coincidence?
Now he's
That he
submissive.
on topic?
Now he's the submissive male. No gaming, no gambling,
No smoking.
can't game with the boys.
Aw, he joined while on topic. I gotta say, man, maybe this is a sign of what I was talking about.
Maybe.
Think about it. Think about his situation and think about what I said. So you've been recording for like 2 hours straight?
An hour 38. Exactly.
I know there's like a huge good portion of the people that just throws things stuff away. And like, how do I put this? Like, when they hear their names and say, oh, this person posted this, oh, it comes from that person, it means absolutely nothing. Not that I have any sort of value to my character because nobody knows who I am. But by voice alone,
That's all that matters.
it's gonna sound fucking retarded.
There's a market for wisdom. In a wisdomless world.
Do they say that wisdom comes with age? Is that true? I don't. Maybe the idea of saying that wisdom comes with age is because the people, as they age, they gain experience. But I'd argue it's not entirely true. It's not entirely true that wisdom comes with age. And the reason why I say this is because people don't entirely get smarter when they grow older, but it's also dependent on how they live their life. You know, you could ask, for example, someone that was born in the sticks, who's like a redneck and fixing on cars, and another person that's in the suburbs has a white collar job, and another person who's rich, born in wealth, and kind of is raised by dad's money. Now, all these three individuals who represent the poor class, middle class, and rich class, as the age, can you really say that wisdom comes with age if arguably one of them has nothing to share and the other does? And what I mean is, for the rich one, how much wisdom can he provide comparable to the poor? What can the poor share for wisdom other than use a condom? Don't fuck. I don't know. Just some random ass shit. Like, whereas
depends what they did. Think about like.
And that's it. That's exactly the point. It is how they live their lives.
Like.
Because maybe I'm confusing wisdom with intelligence, because it's one thing to say that it's better to put your money in a Roth IRA instead of a 401k, and then it's different to say that use a condom or always make sure you pull out.
I don't even say that shit's wisdom. Wisdom's more like, I would say it's gotta be like a general. It's gotta apply to a majority of people. It's gotta be like some real shit that applies to people. Like some
wisdom, like,
don't be too lustful. I don't know, some fucking, I don't know, dude. Let me some wisdom.
Is it easier? Oh, I know one. It's easier to grasp onto an external force to be happy than it is to be internally happy.
Yes.
Something like that. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is you're always looking for something outside to be happy, then to look within yourself to be happy. If you can kind of get what I'm saying. I think myth or wisdom truly comes from loss. Or losses. What people lose in their life, what people, not necessarily what they gain. I mean, I think that is true that
I'll say
it
wisdom
can.
comes from that. I would say wisdom comes from that. Or
From what?
wisdom comes from loss, or like, yeah, loss. A good portion of it does.
Yeah. But it's not also impossible for them wisdom to come from gain, because you can always gain wisdom from someone who lost a lot more, and because you learn at a young age, it is so beneficial for you that you don't have to repeat their mistakes.
Well, you put it like that, I'd say you can get wisdom from anything, then it's just gotta be like applicable, I suppose. Like some gaming wisdom.
Yeah, not to dodge into the fucking, not to dodge and Gears of War, but to always wall bounce.
Don't hoard up all the good stuff, because at the end, you'll never have used it. Like,
Oh my god, Black Ops 3, that shit actually applies. I still haven't used all my gobblegums. They're just sitting there.
you're fucking...
I think to myself, well, I'll come back and use it.
Expired. The past due. Past date. You think Nick Fuentes would eat a gobble gum in real life?
No,
You go on
no.
your podcast.
I think Nick Fuentes lies in his stereotype.
Dude. I don't like him.
I'm-
Like, he's funny to an extent, but like, I don't know. He has some good. I don't know.
I imagine myself as one of a few. So like stereotypes. What I mean is like stereotypes, for example. There's a lot of stereotypes for all sorts of people in many colors. And when it comes to Mexican, there are a lot of them. As much as there are blacks. It's just that if you're not really Mexican, you won't know all of them. Unless you're kind of like, you're one yourself. But let me tell you, it's not, all the stereotypes are not good. In fact, majority of them are bad. Just as much as it is from a black culture. The black stereotypes, majority of them are bad. Only a few are good. But then again, maybe that's what stereotypes are kind of are. The majority of stereotypes are just bad by default. And I myself lie in I like to think that I lie in I'm just a very specific person lying within a specific stereotype.
Are you saying you're a white man trapped in a Mexican's body? Because you
I'll
wouldn't
take
be the
it.
first to say that.
But that's not what I was implying.
Listen,
Yeah.
man, stereotypes, they are real and fake at the same time. They exist and the in-between. It's like, why did they happen? They happen because there's a bad group of this group of people that do associate with that said stereotype, like black people killing each other, being fucking gangsters, or Mexicans locking down their house, or being lawn workers. Because there is a percentage that does fill this gap. And so, if, I don't know, something with like, I would say something with culture, consumptions, is kind of like one thing being true. Or like you see it. Like you hear, oh, Mexican being a lawn worker. And you see it and you're like, oh, what else is true? It's almost like a rabbit hole. Kind of like a gateway interaction to racism.
Truly, the environment really, you are the product of your environment. I have to say, I am grateful for the position that I am. I was more of a someone that really stood still and thought. Nothing but thoughts. Someone who excessively overthinks something too much. And what I mean is like, oh, what if this person likes me? No. I mean like, why is it? Why is it that people are who they are? Why do people chase certain things? Whether that's the 7 deadly sins. Why do people go out of the way to pleasure themselves in these sins? I mean, in a religious kind of view, but in a non-religious view, it's like, why is the world corrupt to the very... How did the world get to where we are? Why is it so corrupt? Who brought it down to such a level? But these are just minor thoughts that everyone could think of. Well, I was thinking more of a solutions to these problems. I was thinking to myself, for example, if I was to make a utopia, the idea of a utopia existing is nearly impossible for me, because the problem would lie in the people abiding to the laws. And what I mean is the economy, for example. The economy, you need to have an economy. Like, would you change the economy based on the population? So like you start from bartering with like 1,000 people, and as the more people you have, the more you have to change the economy to be accustomed to that population. So it would change and change. You would be backed up by gold and silver, only to later take that away for good purpose.
Yeah, because a small community like a tribe has no need for money. I mean, they're basically like, it's like a little family. Like, I'm thinking of like the pilgrim groups. Like, they didn't really, they traded. It's more, yeah, they have bartering. It's powerful in a small group. But if you got like the United States, you know, everyone trying to be their own barterer, it's kind of complicated and hard, and kind of like, where's the opportunity for everyone? You would have a much different. It's about creating opportunities, I suppose. It's the idea of a social contract in government. you know, everyone gets together and agrees we gotta do this to improve our well-being, and it's something we all gotta do together so it works.
And this is exactly what I'm going to go into, the flaws of each, like, in people as in general, whether they are from India, Africa, or whatever continent they come from. Do I believe that there are more good or there are more bad people in the world? I think that there are just amount as good as there are bad. It's just that the good are complicit, and it is easy for the bad to do what they wish to do because the good have something to lose. Like, if on the occasion when we talk about how America right now is kind of occupied, and like, how do you change America from not being occupied? Well, if we even try to start a civil war, would that even be possible? Because so many people complain about the system, but they benefit from the system. They benefit from the very system that they are complaining from. And, well, not many people want to go outside and forfeit what they have. They have to forfeit, acknowledge they have a chance to die for a cause they may not themselves like or appreciate, because even after the conflict has been after the conflict is over with, what are they going to agree upon? Like, once the civil war is over with, during the things that we do, what is there to agree upon after? We're not just going to all mutually agree to put America back, reform it to what it was. There's going to be some disagreements. There's going to be subdivisions.
No,
there's going to be even
the government that wins or rises has to force a rebuild era, like the Civil War. When the Civil War ended, they sent people to the South to like rebuild it. I forget what they're called. I wrote a paper about it. Think about it.
Now imagine that with apply that to every individual. Each person has a dream. Everybody has some sort of goal they want to achieve. They have something that fulfills them, whether that's selfish, that's selfless. Mostly just a desire, like money, cars, house, or a job that pays well and matches the 401k. Either way, it tends to be a selfish thing, and because it's selfish, there's no way for each of us to be happy, to be fulfilled, because someone else, in order for one person to be happy, it means to take from another person. So one person would be cars. Well, how is you going to share the cars when one person has all the cars but nobody else has any? What about food? Somebody wants all the food in the world. He has all the food, but everybody else is just starving. And this applies to any sort of civilization that is both primitive or modern, because their dream or their goal will be based on the time frame of the state of living, the environment that they are in. So like, if you are in Rome, perhaps the average Rome's dream goal would be to be free as a slave, to be free as a slave, and then for like a politician is to gain more wealth, more power. or as a commoner, it is to live next winter. It's just different for each civilization and in their respective time. But still, is the act of living selfish? Is the act of living wanting to live selfish? So that the many would do drastic things like steal or kill, preserve their own life.
Think about
Isn't that
this.
selfish?
Think about this. I think the idea that perhaps everything is selfish because, you know, it feeds your ego. It feeds the individual's ego. No matter what they do, if they want to be selfless, it's because their ego wants this. If they want to like gain knowledge, it's because their ego wants to do that. And so in a way, it's all selfish. It's all selfish. But the result of your selfishness can vary.
So what is truly selfless? The first thing that comes into my mind is jumping in the middle of the street, pushing a kid out of the street. As you see an incoming car, at the cost of your own life, you save a kid. That is selfless.
What if they want to be a hero? What if they're doing it for the sole fact they're like, I want to be a hero? What if that's the whole point of their selflessness? Is to be idolized?
Then I must say it's dependent on what we call righteousness. Because if I were to say I want to be seen as a hero, then it's dependent on what that person considers right and wrong. Because I could be fighting for Israel, and that itself be like, oh, that's a good thing. But is fighting for Israel really a good thing? Then you have to be very careful about what you consider right and wrong. For many, you would just be considered as a fucking jackass. For some, you would be considered as a hero. Because you did what is objectively right. Like sacrificing yourself to save a kid from an incoming car crash is objectively right. Whereas taking a life for another country in service of the country isn't necessarily selfless, but perhaps selfish to the man you start working for. So you're hero to the person you're dying for, but you're not hero to the people. You get where I'm coming from?
Maybe. Perhaps. I don't know. I suppose it's just, what's just the meaning? It's the result, maybe. It's the result of the action. Perhaps. Because even if the man, like, sacrificed himself, he still sacrificed himself. You know, someone else would have died. So it's like a trade, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe this is where exactly we need God. Maybe that's why we need God, is because we as humans, maybe this is not liked for many people to hear, but the reason why religion arguably could exist today is because we as humans need to know right and wrong, because we are flawed. Because we are flawed, we cannot ever reach this state of truth. We will never come to an agreement amongst each other to say, yeah, this is right and this is wrong. Instead, we must rely on an external force, that being God, one who has to be righteous to say this is right and this is wrong. Follow as I do.
We gotta reinvent religion. We gotta reinvent the modern religions. We gotta reboot them. We gotta restructure them. You know, I think you gotta have like kind of an orthodox approach, perhaps, where you gotta remember the roots. But I suppose there's just something about extremists. Well, and there's also like retarded religion structures, like Catholicism, or like mega churches in the US, or like fucking that one Jewish population. They got ideas, they have political ideas, and they're abstaining from the spiritual things. They're too into the spiritual. They're just neglecting certain elements that perhaps are more truthful.
I'd say it's important to focus on both the physical and non-physical realm that lie coexisting amongst us. Like when people talk about the Bible or how they mention Jesus talking about the spirit and the flesh, he talks as if they are both simultaneously different, that they are, but at the same time existing, maybe coexisting at the same time, but they are enemies of one another.
Well, I think it's like the idea of like your body is your mind, but your mind isn't your body. It's like it's 2 in 1.
Yeah.
Symbiosis.
I'd say this is important because, well, it's not symbolic. I mean, it's literal. It's literal to some sense. Like, what I'm saying is, the spirit is your essence. Your spirit is your energy. What I mean by this is your heart. Every person that has a heart, hopefully, when their heart beats, it creates a magnetic field, right? A very small magnetic field. This is actually proven fact because the U.S. government was using a device that helped locate a pilot out in somewhere in the fucking desert, somewhere in the Middle East, by finding the magnetic field that the heart creates. But this is important because the same magnetic field that your heart creates also is the very same thing that we are supposed to be harnessing. Like, we are supposed to be going out of our way to essentially work with our hearts, to spread that heart, put that energy into our minds, into our pineal gland. So like when you think of ancient Egypt, the Eye of Horus or something like that, that Eye of Horus is essentially the pineal gland. It's a message to remind us that our third eye is the pineal gland. And as we work up to harness this magnetic field, it takes a form, it takes a shape of a torus, I think that's what they call it. It's a circle that has like a hole in it, and I think it's a torus. So there's this a scientist, Bob Monroe, who has his own. Once he's no longer alive today, but there's the institute, the Bell Monroe Institute. They have a few institutes across America, and their sole purpose is to essentially synchronize both your left hemisphere and right hemisphere, and each person has their own, like, not everyone experiences the same thing. You can have an out-of-body experience, you can leave your body, which I have on a couple occasions. I've gone to the point where I left my physical body and I saw myself leaving my body. But the very first time I was tripping, like I was fucking afraid, and because I was afraid, I was being pulled back into my body, and I was trying to get out. I grabbed onto the bars of my bed, trying to pull myself out of my body. At the same time, being afraid, I was both floating in, I was floating out of my body, and while being awake in my body. It was kind of weird, and the thing is, as you notice, the thing that you would notice as you're out of your body is that you still have your thoughts. You still got your thoughts. And it's kind of absurd. Because before all this happens, you go through these exercises, like meditation exercises, where you harness your energy that your body creates naturally. It creates, and then naturally creates it because your heart rate is creating it. Your heart is creating the energy your body forms. And you're kind of creating a protective barrier doing this. In the process of doing this, you're creating the torus. You are harnessing the energy that your heart creates, creating a torus around your body, that the energy goes from your heart to your brain, that then goes outward of your body, back into your legs, back into your feet, creating a sphere. Some crazy shit, dude.
It's crazy shit.
That's why I say it's really important for us to teach the spirits, the spirit realm.
Wow. What beautiful, beautiful words of wisdom. Thank you for enjoying the special episode of the lecture hall. A special video, special 2-hour edition, bro. There'll be more perhaps, bro. We'll just see what happens, bro. It just depends. I like having the live guests come to class because, I don't like doing my job. Anything for me not to say something. Alright, thank you, bro. Subscribe to my OnlyFans.